Hey everybody, this is Steven again in episode 16 of the Consumer 2020 show. This episode is about being customer-centric with your content marketing, and I want to share some cases about that. Welcome in the show. Let's talk about content marketing for a second. I've always been into this for the last 5 years. I'm a big fan of content marketing, but I think we're missing out a big opportunity. I think most companies are just thinking about what do we want to say, what is the message that we want to share. And I think there's a huge opportunity to ask yourself the other question and ask yourself, which questions do consumers have? How do they search for our category? What are they typing into Google? And if you can make content based upon the questions of customers, it's going to be a totally different ballgame. Because if you look at the push model of content marketing, you're pushing it and you want to create a hype, or you want to reach out to a lot of people at one moment in time, which is not bad, but then it's just at one moment in time. If you look at it from a different perspective and you ask yourself, okay, what questions do consumers have? It's different, because then you're in a pull system and consumers will always have that question. So you're not depending on the one peak, but you're creating some sort of a cumulative effect. You start out small, but you build out the reach over time because of those remaining questions of customers. And if you play with that perspective, I think you can make a difference. Important detail is, if you work with customer-centric content, make sure you install your hook. Because I see a lot of content marketing that doesn't have a hook, and I mean that a lot of companies are investing a lot of content marketing. They're sharing fantastic stuff, but at the end of the day, they don't try to capture the data of consumers. I think the really relevant content marketing cases that you see, they invest in questions of customers, but they also install the hook. They don't just throw the bait out there. They make sure they have their bait on the hook to collect the data. And if you want to have a fantastic example, I think HubSpot is doing a great job there with their marketing blog, all the articles that they're sharing, but they're also asking for email addresses and content of customers or potential customers, and because of that, they're growing their business. So that's for me the ultimate content marketing, installing the hook with customer-centric content. Good luck with that. And to stay in this same topic, I want to share an old case. It's actually a few years old, but I still use it a lot in my presentations. It's a story of the swimming pool guy. A few years ago there was this financial crisis, and a lot of companies that were selling swimming pools are suffering, especially in the States, because a lot of rich people lost their money, and if you don't have money, you don't buy pools, right? But this guy was thinking, how can I survive the crisis? And he was on a rainy Sunday afternoon, he was just sitting at the desk like this one, and he was listing out all the questions that people asked him during a sales visit. And then that rainy Sunday afternoon, he started to answer all those questions. And he wrote blogs, he made short videos, and he talked about everything. Like the number one question his customers have is, what's the price of an average swimming pool? And the normal answer that you get is, it depends. But this guy said, okay, let's answer this question. What can I give you for 25,000? What can I give you for 50,000? What can I give you for 100,000? And the answer wasn't perfect, but he just answered it. And because of that, a lot of people found their way to his website. He even talked about competitors on his site. And a lot of people thought that he was crazy, but actually it's pretty smart, because a lot of people didn't know his company, but they knew the competitor. They typed in the name of the competitor in Google, and guess on which website did they arrive? Exactly, on our guy. And because of that, he was one of the few guys who could survive the crisis by doing smart, customer-centric content marketing, and he also had the hook installed to capture the data to make sure he could follow up his leads of people, the few people that wanted to buy a swimming pool. Think about this one to see if you can do anything with this in your content marketing. Good luck. Guys, this was episode 16. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It was actually the first time that we talked about content marketing, one of my big passions. So I hope you will like it. I hope you will share it. I hope you will subscribe to the channel. And I hope to see you next week for episode 17. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.